What's up, manga and anime lovers, and welcome back to Anime Jenkins. Today, we'll be counting down some of the best kissing scenes in anime that are bound to satisfy your cravings for a good romance scene. Before we get into the video, feel free to rank these anime down in the comments below, or make your version of this list if you disagree with us. With that out of the way, here are some of the best kissing scenes in anime by far. The first anime on this list is going to give all of us introverted weebs some hope for finding a partner, as it features a kissing scene between the shut-in and frail boy with the lunatic yandere. I am of course talking about the final kissing scene between Yuki and Yuno from the anime The Future Diary. Now, if you've seen this anime, you know that it's about a guy and a girl finding ways to survive in a battle royale between many humans, with each human possessing the future diary to help him or her out. However, there is one small twist that sets it apart from a regular love story, and it's the fact that the boy Yuki starts off as an introverted scaredy cat who can't even take care of himself, and the girl is the wild yandere who protects him with pure love. This creates a mixed feeling inside of Yuki. Some days he feels like he loves Yuno more than anything. On other days, he feels like she is literally the worst psychopathic person in existence. Eventually, however, they fall in love with each other, and what makes the final kissing scene between them so beautiful is that Yuno literally sacrifices herself to ensure Yuki's survival. The scene was a unique blend of romance and tragedy that very few anime have to offer. The ending by no means was a happy one, but that doesn't mean it wasn't beautiful in its own way. Whether you love it or hate it, Darling in the Franxx has some very impactful moments when it comes to kissing scenes, especially considering the fact that kissing is more or less how the mechas increase their power. Honestly, there are so many to choose from, but Hero Zero Two's kiss in the 15th episode honestly takes the cake. The two have came a long way as far as helping each other be comfortable in their own skin. The plantation is in the midst of a heated battle to take down the Grand Kavase base, where Hero finds Zero Two unconscious and reliving moments of her past, causing her to go on a mad rampage. Hero is able to enter Zero Two's memories, and when he released her from her episode, the two share a both sad and beautiful moment where the two apologize for the things they said in an earlier argument. Hero tells Zero Two that they will see the outside world together, and he kisses her. Resulting in them both getting a major buff to kick some Klaxosaur ass. The next scene on the list is from an anime we all had a hard time understanding, but the romance in it hit us harder than a truck ever could. It's the first kiss between Makise and Okabe from the anime none other than Steins Gate. These two definitely didn't get started off on the right foot, as they would just spend most of the time arguing with each other. Over time, however, both of them realize that they've actually fallen for each other, but fate ends up taking a tragic turn. By the time Okabe realized his love for Makise, he also realized he'd have to leave that world line in order to see his little friend Mayuri survive. When Okabe finally confesses to Makise Kirisu and kisses her, he kisses her for a long time, knowing this would be his final kiss. The audience just glares at the scene, hoping that time might stop for these two lovers, yet knowing it won't, making this scene heart-wrenching yet beautiful. I think we've had enough tragic kissing scenes in this list, and it's time we feature some wholesome ones. The next kissing scene is between the introverted Aochan and Takumi. One aspect that sets it apart from other romance anime is that it's the cute Aochan that confesses her love, despite being a shy tsundere. But what's even more interesting is how she became one and why she resented her love life. You see, Aochan had a father who was an erotic writer, and being a normal girl, she was ashamed of her father. All she ever wanted was to get far away from her father as possible. Since her father was an erotic artist, she developed a sense of resentment for anything that involves love. She couldn't help but think that love is just another thing that leads to immoral sexual deeds. However, this only leads to more internal conflict because she loved Takumi but couldn't really confess, as she considered her feelings to be downright immoral. So when the audience saw Aochan confess her feelings and kiss Takumi, not only did they witness a tsundere making the first move, but they also got to behold Aochan finally overcoming the wall she had created between herself and her love life. gave the anime a very satisfying conclusion. Up next, we have the first kiss between Tyga and Ryuji, the anime Toradora, one of my favorite high school romance anime as a high schooler. What made this scene so special is not only the kiss itself, but the backstory between Tyga and Ryuji's relationship and how their love came to blossom. The story of Toradora actually starts out with Ryuji having a big crush on one of his classmates, who also happened to be Tyga's best friend. As a male, I feel we've all at some point had to deal with this, the annoying best friend who butted in somehow whenever you were just trying to get close to the girl you like. Tyga was indeed this best friend. And on top of that, Tyga had a crush on Ryuji's best friend as well. So naturally, Tyga and Ryuji were enemies. As a matter of fact, they hated each other. Most of the story showed the two of them butting heads constantly, but slowly realizing that deep down, they really had feelings for each other. They fought this for a while, until they finally accepted the facts and confessed their love for each other. Their first kiss was the cutest thing ever. And the fact that they were enemies turned lovers made it that much more impactful to watch them showing their tender sides to each other. You know how most of the kissing scenes happen in absolute solitude? Well, if by any chance you got bored of that, then the next kissing scene on the list is definitely the one for you, as the boy Ita kisses Masuzu Natsukawa in public. Yep, you heard that right. This romantic scene happens with hundreds of eyes glaring at the two lovers. The boy Ita resented romance because he had experienced a failed marriage of his parents and thinks that love is just a shallow concept. Masuzu, on the other hand, was also disgusted by the thought of a relationship, as she received dozens of proposals every day because of her perfect body and beautiful face. She tells Ita to pretend to be her boyfriend so she wouldn't receive so many proposals every day. Needless to say, she blackmailed him into doing it and threatened to expose Ita's notebook had he refused to cooperate. Over time, Ita ends up falling in love with her because he realizes that even though she comes off as an arrogant jerk on the outside, she's also a human who has her fair share of inferiority complexes. The thing about the scene is that it portrays that true love is actually accepting each other and loving each other, not just for their good things, but their flaws as well. Our next kiss features Takano and Ritsu of the anime World's Greatest First Love. This romantic comedy follows the life of Ritsu Onodera, a literary editor who begins a new job at a new publishing company to prove to himself that he can be successful without his father's help. To Ritsu's surprise, his new boss is none other than his high school crush, Masamune Takano. It has been a long time since high school, but the two both acknowledge the fact that they loved each other in high school, despite never confessing their feelings. Ritsu is hesitant to be involved in a romantic relationship with his boss, mainly because Takano was the reason for his heartbreak in high school. But Takano makes a promise to Ritsu that he will make him fall in love with him again. Takano and Ritsu's relationship goes to the next level when Takano pours his heart out to Ritsu about his true feelings, knowing that they both feel the same. This kiss highlights a turning point in the two's relationship, when Ritsu finally breaks down and gives in to his true feelings. We all love a good, the one that got away story, and this is up there among the best of them. Coming up next on our list is when Kaneda expresses his love for my hero, from the anime The Pet Girl of Sakura So. The anime follows the story of Kaneda, who ends up in a dorm for very special people. Basically, these people were gifted in their own way, but had a very difficult time acting normal. There, he meets a talented artist, Mahiro, who had a hard time making normal social decisions. Kaneda ends up becoming the handler of that girl, and since she was so absent-minded, the interaction between them throughout the show was extremely cute. However, as the episodes go by, Kaneda realizes that he's fallen in love with Mahiro, so he ends up confessing it and asking her to close her eyes to kiss her. Unfortunately, the kiss ends up being disturbed by a stray cat, but Mahiro gives him a kiss on the cheek and leaves abruptly. I'm going to be honest with you, this kind of cute and funny kiss is wholesome in its own way. It honestly made me realize that it was something I craved, but never knew I craved, deserving this scene a spot on the list. This next kissing scene is between a couple that certainly needs no introduction, and it's no other than the kiss between Ria's Grimory and Issei. The thing about this kissing, or rather should I say, a proposal scene, is that the audience knew it was going to happen sooner or later. Both Issei and Ria Arias knew that they had loved each other. They both stuck to each other's side through the toughest of battles and had some of the most fun interactions a couple could have. When Issei finally confessed his feelings to Rias officially, it wasn't any surprise for the audience, as they were waiting for this thing to happen for such a long time. But the build up to the scene and the execution of the scene itself was such a wonderful sight to behold. And last but not least, one of the best kissing scenes is from the Naruto movie, The Last. The whole movie is centered around the love between Naruto and Hinata. Yeah, there is a villain of course, but the whole thing feels a lot more love oriented if you ask me. Ever since Naruto was a kid, he was always so focused on Sakura, trying to hit on her, trying to show her how strong he is, basically doing whatever it takes to lure her into being his girlfriend. The thing about this movie is that it revealed how that wasn't ever really the case. Naruto never really loved Sakura, he just wanted her attention to feel dominant over Sasuke, whereas Hinata was the one who was always on the lookout for Naruto, regardless of how bad the day for him got. Hinata inspired her ninja way from Naruto. She even went on and stood in front of the mighty Pain himself, just in hopes of protecting Naruto. The bottom line is, Hinata always loved Naruto, and Naruto was just always too dense to see her worth. In the whole movie, we finally got to witness Naruto reply to her love, and end the movie with a beautiful kiss in the sky. With that being said, that concludes our list for today, my guys. Don't forget to drop a like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I wish you all a great day of watching anime.